All right, I'll take us out to Wonder Woman then. This is issue 5. Brian Azzarello, of course, writing with Cliff Chang on the art.
No, sorry, it's not Cliff Chang on art.
Is it not? I looked it up. It said it was Cliff Chang.
It's right on the cover here. It's Tony Akins.
I don't have the cover. I'm on the trade. DC Wiki said Cliff Chang. I swear it did.
Cliff Chang still did the cover, which is maybe where it's getting that from on DC's wiki.
Okay. I didn't like this issue. I hate to be the negative one today, but I really didn't like this issue. Yeah, I hated it.
I'm surprised by that. I think this is not the best issue, but I'm still into it.
I felt like most of it was padding, and I hated this new character, Lennox, or what his name is.
Lennox, yeah.
I hated him. He annoyed me. The second he started talking, I'm like, oh, this is like a Constantine sounding bastard. I don't like him. And
you just hate when people do accents in books, do you? When it's written down like that.
I do for the most part. Very, very rarely do I enjoy when someone writes in an accent. It's frustrating to me because I feel like as someone who is Scottish, right? When I see someone writing in a Scottish accent, I'm annoyed because it's harder to read. It's especially annoying because not every Scottish person speaks in thick Scottish slang. I certainly don't, and it bugs me.
No, I get that, but it's an easy way of conveying an accent, or where a person's from, how they speak. If you just put the regular speech, that doesn't come across. You're not unless you know that this is what this character sounds like from some other reason.
Put a note. Put an editor's note. But when you do when speak a different line, we just say this is an X accent.
That's terrible.
Or have them say where they're from. Whatever. I don't care. I hate it. It's annoying. Yeah, this issue did very little for me. You've got these sailors who find like these dead seahorse things.
I'm gonna call it a seahorse, yeah. Because it starts off as they see it looks like it's a horse, but it's huge, and then we cut underneath and see it's got a tail and fins and stuff.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of relieved to find that it wasn't Chang, because I was a little bit worried because some of the faces were definitely, they're definitely going for Cliff Chang's style, but they're not quite.
Yeah, you can see where they're trying to make it feel seamless. Like this is a fill-in trying to adhere to the established style of the book, absolutely. And
yeah, I just
credit where it's due in that regard, but it's not as strong.
I think the storytelling has frustrated me because like they're just sitting having breakfast, and this random new dude shows up and knows them and like starts talking about who he is and starts talking about everything. It's one of these sort of tropes that I think feels especially bad when we're already like deep into a story, as opposed to like the start of a story when things are just getting going. Because this is so much of the issue is them sitting at this breakfast table talking about how he's related to Diana, or how he's a god or whatever. Because he's like centuries old, isn't he? Or no, he's 80 years old. That's what he said.
He's 80 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's like half the book. And later on it's okay when the sea monster starts showing up, and it gets a bit more interesting at the end because Wonder Woman sort of like faces down Poseidon. Some stuff's happening, and it's not so much that I'm complaining that there's not enough action in the first half of the issue. It's just that I felt like it started off with just debating of okay, what should Diana do next because of what's happened to Themyscira and what Hera's up to, and I don't know. I felt really like the momentum just felt like the last issue ended with this big devastating blow, and then this issue it starts so casually with them sitting around a breakfast table, and I'm like shouldn't we feel the emotion still? Shouldn't Diana like be like sort of like sauntering back in from like her trip and like have them react to like why she looks so like traumatized or something? But she's sitting having breakfast like it's a normal Sunday afternoon or something like that. Well, no, you have breakfast on a Sunday afternoon. Well, you might actually, because it's Sunday. You lie in on a Sunday, so you might.
You could. I mean, I've definitely done it.
Yes, I think many people have, to be honest. But
yeah,
I just wasn't feeling like the momentum in this at all.
I get where you're coming from in the momentum in the first half. I definitely agree. This is probably the weakest issue of the book so far. But I think I liked it more new. I liked Lennox. I like that conversation. I like the stuff it's doing, even if it did lose some of the momentum from the last issue. I love when it gets to Poseidon, and it's just learning what's going on there between the gods. And okay, so Zeus has gone missing, and Poseidon's like, well, I'm claiming the skies for myself. And then at the same time, we've got Lennox going down to the underworld, getting in a bit of a tangle with Cerberus, and then Hades having to step out, and okay, now Hades is in play as well.
Yeah, I'm not really caring about the mythology as much when it comes to Wonder Woman. Like all the things I like about Wonder Woman tend to be the more character-driven stuff as opposed to the mythology stuff. So I'm less excited about that in of itself. And the ending's kind of a weak ending to me as well, because it just kind of like, you know, we have a couple of centaurs coming into the city because they're in London.
Yeah.
And it just kind of ends with like Diana yelling at Poseidon that, you know, Hera's, she's
already claimed the heavens.
Yeah,
and
basically
taken Zeus's place. So it's tough shit basically.
And then that's it. That's the last thing. It was like you see Hera kind of standing off to the side of the panel, but there's not really anything sort of there to give me like a hook or a big beat.
No, I actually agree that the last page is possibly the weakest of the book, in that it start like, if this wasn't the last page, I'd be quite into it as a page, in the sense that, okay, you got the crowd kind of seeing all this, you got the centaurs coming out, it's ramping up in the sense that Diana's in kind of kicking off this fight between Poseidon and Hera now, but it is missing an actual moment to end it on.
Yeah. This was a that's one was a short read, to be honest. I wasn't into this issue at all, so I'm hoping that is not a consistent feeling, and we're back to more stuff that I like next time.
Yeah, I know. From here on out, I think it's pretty inconsistent as to when we have Chang.
Well,
he's kind of off and on for a while.
Well, that's not great news, but my concern here was, I mean, the art's definitely a step down, but my concern here was more that I just wasn't into the story or the writing in this issue. Yeah. And that could be a concern, given that I've got 31 issues left. if it keeps going this direction where I feel like I'm being alienated because it's not really clicking with me, then that could be a problem, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. What are you giving this one?
I'm going to give it a straight 7.
5 out of 10 for me.